You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
So you're on your cell phone and some guy comes up to you and grabs you like this. Well, what do you do next? I'm Travis Leader. I'll have that answer.
Plus, as temperatures drop tonight, what can you expect for roads and conditions tomorrow? And the suspect in a mall mugging that happened in broad daylight is now behind bars. Also, more of the man who could replace athletic director Mal Moore. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tamika Alexander. We begin tonight with state officials urging travelers to be cautious tonight as parts of Alabama are being threatened by cold temperatures and possibly winter conditions. WVUA's Victoria Sheehan joins us now on what state troopers are warning about. Hey, Victoria.
Hey, Tamika. Yeah, according to officials, winter storms may cause icy roads and hazardous driving conditions for northern parts of our state overnight tonight and into early Friday morning. So if you are heading north and must travel, the Alabama Department of Public Safety and the Alabama Department of Transportation are strongly encouraging that you drive with extreme caution. ALDOT says they have made preparations across the state to respond to icy bridge and road conditions. You can check those road conditions at www.state.al.us. State troopers are also offering tips to help drivers be safe. First off, they say avoid travel if possible when icy or other hazardous driving conditions develop. Make sure to check your antifreeze levels and keep gas tanks at least half full. During bad weather, turn on headlights and windshield wipers and keep a safe distance between your vehicle and others. Pay particular attention to bridges and overpasses, which have a tendency to develop dangerous black ice. And an important note, keep blankets and first aid kits, a charged cell phone, and other emergency supplies in your vehicle. And speaking of Alabama weather, numbers of homes damaged from Monday's storm are coming in from the Alabama Red Cross. They say at least 370 homes were damaged. This is video from the University of Alabama where a tree was destroyed in front of Moore Hall. Officials say more than 65 homes were destroyed across the state. 95 homes sustained major damage and more than 200 homes had minor damage. Tamika.
In your home team Crime Watch, a 17-year-old is behind bars tonight and charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. Tyler DeRobert Guyton was arrested for an incident that stems from a burglary that happened on March 11th on 31st Avenue in Tuscaloosa. The victim walked in on the burglary and the suspects fled. Then on March 17th, officers responded to shots fired in the 500 block of 31st Street, where victims say the suspect, Tyler Guyton, started shooting at them. One of the victims was the person who was burglarized days earlier. Today, investigators were given the go-ahead on warrants for 2 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of shooting into an occupied building. Guyton will be charged as an adult. Also tonight, Tuscaloosa police have a suspect in custody who they say robbed an elderly woman in broad daylight in the parking lot of University Mall on Saturday. During the robbery, police say the 71-year-old victim was knocked to the ground in a struggle for her purse. She hit her head on a vehicle bumper and was taken to DCH while the suspect fled the scene. 22-year-old Justin Taylor Lemons of Brookwood was arrested on 1 count of robbery in the 3rd degree. While police were trying to locate him, they learned he was arrested yesterday in Hueytown on theft charges, and that is where he was apprehended. With recent events like these, like last week's mugging, still fresh on people's minds, local self-defense experts are trying to empower women when in threatening situations. WVUA's Travis Leader joins us now and shows us what some women are learning to better defend themselves.
That's right, Tamika. Whether you're at a public place like a mall or leaving your car from your driveway, it's important to be prepared at all times. And many women came out to get a few tips on how to get out of harm's way.
We all need to be aware of our surroundings and what we can do. There was a lady who had her purse taken, in University Mall like at 2:30 in the afternoon.
And martial artists are giving these women tips so they aren't the next victim.
We're in a rough world we live in now, and so I want people to feel empowered, and I want them to feel a little bit safer and come away from here knowing a little bit more than when they walked in the door.
That initial attack may be frightening, so some say it's important to have the right mindset with proper training.
It sounds like a really terrifying thing and one that's not easy to really think on your feet. So to be able to prepare myself in advance, even just in random scenarios, I feel like would be very beneficial.
And these students are learning all sorts of tips and tricks.
If somebody was to grab you, how to get away from them. If somebody was to choke you, how to get out of chokeholds. If somebody was to pin you to the ground, how to get out from under them and get away. And then how to keep your distance from people, keeping them from the initial grab.
And if more women are empowered, there may be less attacks.
Just having that kind of education out there for people just to take, hopefully it would, decrease, crime in this area. So.
The participants also learned statistics and received other helpful hints to make sure they are prepared even in nonviolent situations. Tamika?
All right, thanks, Travis. Just a day after the announcement that Alabama Athletics Director Mal Moore was stepping down due to health concerns, we now know who the likely next leader of the Alabama sports program will be. University of Alabama President Dr. Judy Bonner is recommending Bill Battle, someone with a strong connection to Bama athletics, as the next athletics director. Those who have worked alongside Bill Battle during his time at the University of Alabama, as well as those who are very familiar with UA athletics, say Battle would make a great director of athletics. WVUA's Jennifer Edwards has more.
Eddie Conyers was given his position as the University of Alabama practice referee by Coach Bryant around the same time Bill Battle and Mal Moore played for him.
Mal was a quarterback and Bill was an end, but both of them were what I might be a trite saying, but what I call Bryant type players. They were not the fastest, they were not the largest, but they were what he called in-betweeners, and they were the guy that would give you 110%, and they not only gave you 110%, they gave that 100% of the time. Both of them great ball players and great individuals.
And although he's sad to see Moore step down, Conyers says Battle would be an excellent leader.
He was very astute, intelligent, articulate man, and he proved that obviously not in his associations after he finished ball here, in his career, in business career, and his coaching at Tennessee. He was a great coach at Tennessee. It'll flow, and it'll flow smoothly, I would think. Yeah, Bill. Well, like I say again, I couldn't write a better scenario than Bill Battle being the athletic director.
Bryant Museum Director Ken Gaddy agrees. Choosing Battle just makes sense.
You're replacing a gentleman with a gentleman. Two great guys, two great Alabama guys. So, and Coach Moore obviously will still be around to be a part of that transition and helping Bill Battle and helping President Bonner. So I think it's a win-win situation for the university.
We will have more on Bill Battle and home team sports. In your Education Watch tonight, some West Alabama students may soon have access to new tools for learning. Tuscaloosa City Schools works to give middle and high school students laptops. The school board is taking into account network upgrading and cost of those computers, but they say they're ready to move forward and bring equal opportunities to Tuscaloosa students.
Every household and every kid will have the same equal opportunity to be able to have a computer. And that's one of the key things that, if you really want to work on the achievement gap, then let's see if you can bring everybody as close as you can to the even task.
Officials say they do not know yet how much it will cost, but Superintendent Dr. Paul McKendrick says he wants the computers to be implemented by next year. When it comes to the state's new law providing private school tax credits, one state leader says he has a plan to fund it. Senate President Pro Tem Del Mar says he has formed a nonprofit organization to support a new state law providing private school tax credits. It's called the Foundation for Accountability in Education. And Mar says it's a way to educate the public about the new Accountability Act. The group has set up a website and started running radio ads. The Alabama Education Association is suing Marsh and 3 other legislators over the new law. The suit argues that the legislator violated its own operating rules and the open meetings law when approving that legislation last month. Alabama legislators are one step closer to passing a bill that will allow displays of historic documents in buildings. The bill permits religious displays to also be allowed, which would mean state buildings could soon have the 10 Commandments displayed. Current Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore once lost his position after refusing to remove a 10 Commandments monument at the Alabama Supreme Court building. UA law professor Paul Horwitz says no matter what the state says, the U.S. government will still have the final say.
And it can't give the state any more right to do anything that's prohibited by the Constitution. So as far as I can tell, it's just political theater. It may make an important statement for some people, but it certainly doesn't accomplish anything.
Now, Horace also says the state will likely not fund any legal efforts to keep a law from standing, but some interest groups may help finance that instead. Well, the University of Alabama is mourning the loss of a professor. 56-year-old Dr. Timothy M. Murphy was an associate professor of religious studies. He died on March 15 from complications related to cystic fibrosis. Murphy joined UA's Department of Religious Studies in 2002. The department is planning a memorial event on April 5th in honor of his life. Family members are asking that donations be made to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. You can learn more by visiting cff.org. Welcome back. President Barack Obama continues his trip to the Middle East today. Earlier, it was a lighter mood as the president and Israeli prime minister visited a tech expo where a small robot served them matzo crackers. But after the visit to Israel, Obama met a Palestinian leader. They discussed Israel's settlements in the West Bank and Israeli treatment of Palestinian prisoners. Those topics have been sticking points in Middle East peace talks. Talks will also begin about extending U.S. military aid to Israel beyond 2017. Well, if you're looking for a job and technology is a field you're considering, you may want to look outside the state lines for the best choices. According to a leading tech job site, St. Louis, Missouri, Charlotte, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, and Detroit, Michigan are the new list of 5 fastest growing metro areas for IT jobs. The site says St. Louis employers listed 25% more tech job postings on its site year to year through March 1st. At the bottom end, Detroit-based tech jobs listings increased 10%. And according to a new Gallup poll, residents of West Virginia are the most unhappy in the country. The poll takes into account people's physical and emotional health. Some of the factors include health, life expectancy, income, and education level. After West Virginia, America's other most unhappy states are Kentucky, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas. Some notable people from West Virginia, however, include our very own Nick and Terry Sabin. Well, today marks a very important day for social media. It's the birthday of Twitter. 7 years ago today, Twitter had just one user, creator Jack Dorsey, and today is the 7th anniversary of the first ever tweet. On March 21st, 2006, Dorsey tweeted, "Just setting up my Twitter." More than 200 million users have since registered on the social media site. About twice as many tweets, 400 million, are sent every day. And speaking of Twitter, don't forget to follow your home team for sneak peeks on upcoming shows and projects here at WVUA. Did not know Twitter has been around that long, and I recently just signed on, so I'm still learning about it.
Yeah, it's new to some folks, but yeah, it's quite interesting. You can get a lot of information out, or I guess a short amount of information out really quick.
And we can find out about the weather on Twitter.
Yeah.
Now, the Tuscaloosa Chevrolet Sports Update with WVUA's Gary Harris.
Good evening, everyone. University of Alabama President Judy Bonner has recommended former Crimson Tide football player Bill Battle for the post of UA Athletics Director. Bonner says outgoing AD Mal Moore strongly endorsed Battle, who is a close friend of Moore's, as his successor. Mal Moore, of course, is stepping down to become a special assistant to President Bonner because of health issues. The Alabama Board of Trustees Executive Committee has scheduled a conference call tomorrow to vote on the selection. A press conference has also been called for 11:30. Now, Battle played with Moore on Bear Bryant's 1961 National Championship team. Coach Bryant's first at Alabama. He spent 7 years as Tennessee's head football coach, starting in 1970 when he was just 29 years old. He had a great record there, 59-22-2. He won 4 of his 5 bowl games, but he couldn't beat Alabama. And Coach Bryant, like Charlie Mack at LSU once said, if that's what they're going to pay people for, they'll fire all of us. But he went on into private business and was a huge success, founding the Collegiate Licensing Company in 1981. He served as president and CEO until 2002. He's in all of the different licensing and marketing Hall of Fames, and in 2005, he was named the Paul W. Bryant Alumni Athlete Award winner at the University of Alabama. So he's got a background in athletics and in business, and like I said, is going to sign on with Coach Moore's blessing. A press conference at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. We will have that for you live here on WVUA TV as Bill Battle is named athletics director at the University of Alabama. Well, speaking of Alabama football, after 2 shorts and helmet practices, the Crimson Tide went out in full pads for the first time on Wednesday afternoon. Now, it's a very popular saying that you can't tell much about a football player until he puts on the pads. What did Nick Saban think about his team's first full contact practice? Let's find out.
Obviously, the first day in pads, after watching everybody run around in, shirts and helmets, they look a little quicker, a little faster. Get the pads on. It's something that the players have to get used to. But I thought the effort was good. The attention to detail has been good. I mean, we have really, tried to emphasize how important it is for the individuals on the team to do the right things to make the team what it is. And, every time you have a new team, there's new leadership, there's new roles for people. So every individual has to contribute maybe even in a little different way than what he's ever had before or had to do before. And that's kind of what makes the team what it is.
The Alabama softball team will welcome in-state rival Auburn for 3 games this weekend, beginning tomorrow night. And for the first time, the series between the two schools in Tuscaloosa will be contested over 3 days instead of 2.
It's the first time, I think, ever that we've played single against Auburn at home. We've always had them a doubleheader on a Saturday and a single on Sunday, or a midweek doubleheader. So it's the first time our crowd in Tuscaloosa gets to see an Auburn-Alabama series for 3 days, and we're hoping for 10,000 to 12,000 people over the weekend. So it's going to be, it's going to be an exciting series.
And that game tomorrow night, you can see it live right here on WVUA TV beginning at 6:30. In the NCAA basketball tournament, a number 16 seed has never beaten a number 1 seed, but Southern University out of the SWAC gave it a good run. Boy, did they ever, taking top-seeded Gonzaga down to the wire before losing 64-58. There were a couple of 12-5 upsets today, though, as Oregon knocked off Oklahoma State and California defeated UNLV. And SEC member Missouri, well, it's been a long year for the SEC. It's continuing. They're down by 16 to Colorado State with less than 7 minutes to play in that basketball game. And the season has come to an end for the Shelton State women's basketball team. They lose for the first time this year out at the National Junior College Tournament in Kansas. The Gulf Coast Community College 72-61. Still a great season for Madonna Thompson and her team, but they do fall short of winning a national championship. Well, a local air pistol team featuring teenagers is one of the best in the country, and the members have Olympic dreams and potential. Lee Smith has the story.
Those sounds are common to 11th grader Kara Moody. She is training to be a future Olympian, and it all started with her Blocked in Bullets pistol team in Woodstock.
Going to Colorado and getting to see the Olympic Training Center. If I wasn't here, I wouldn't even know that it existed. And getting to meet people from places like China and Japan and Russia.
4 members of the team, ranging from ages 12 to 17, recently qualified for the National Junior Olympics in Colorado Springs. Their competition is the 10-meter men's and women's air pistol event. 12-year-old Lane Smith loves the sport because he can lean on himself.
It's not like any other sport. Most sports you have to depend on others to help you. If you don't shoot good, then you don't shoot good.
It's not all fun, though, for the Blocked in Bullets. Coach Candy Smith says safety is their first priority.
We go through certifications, 4-H, NRA, and we go to several classes to make sure we're teaching proper technique to all the kids, and that's our first lesson when they come into the range.
Veteran member Ronnie Pearson believes gun safety should be applied in every circumstance.
It carries over outside of the range, outdoor shooting, shooting at home, out in the woods, hunting, it all carries over with any firearm.
With their sights set on Nationals April 2nd, the Bullets will continue practicing precision and safety in Coach Candy's basement. They hope to move into a bigger, more permanent facility within the next 6 months. In Woodstock, I'm Lee Smith, WVUA Sports.
Quick update on Missouri and Colorado State. It's 71-59 with about 6 minutes to go, so the Missouri team has got some work to do. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
Well, this next story happened in Massachusetts, but maybe after today it can spark a chain of random acts of kindness. Samantha Ford's boyfriend was deployed in September, and her car has a sticker on it that says, "Half my heart is in Afghanistan." Last weekend, she was coming out of Dunkin' Donuts when she spotted a note on her car that said, "Take your hero out to dinner when he comes home," and inside the envelope was $40. Ford said she'd love to meet the secret donor.
If I can't find them, I just want them to know that we are very grateful and
completely touched by it, and I can't think of anything to do other than pay it forward and let that person know that they made a difference.
Neat story. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Neat story.
Maybe it'll catch on.
Exactly.
For some other folks that are protecting our country.
It'll be a nice weekend to be inside and enjoy.